Well, the time has finally come. After 8 years, it's time to say goodbye. It's easy to move on with the excitement for the Switch 2, so let's spend a moment to remember the original, as 8 years is a long time.
In revenue last year, Nintendo was having a strong start in sales this year with the launch of that Switch console. The device lets you play in a variety of settings on your big screen TV, on the road. Game changer here.
You know, for this, the game changer is every gamer wants to be able to have that big screen experience, but now to be able to have that and then take the system with you.
The 3rd of March, 2017. It almost seems like a lifetime ago now. This is testament to the success of the Switch. After the disaster of the Wii U, there was a lot riding on the Switch. I remember commentators at the time stating that Nintendo should leave the console market and license their games to the likes of Xbox and Sony. Now, it seems like Sony and Xbox are the ones that are struggling, and Nintendo once again are on top. In its naked form, it's pretty uninspiring. It looks more like a large sat-nav than a console. It's very un-Nintendo. On the underside is a USB-C charging port, and nothing much else. On the top we have a cartridge slot, headphone jack, some cooling vents, power and volume controls. And on the two sides are the Joy-Con rails. The back is a simple affair also, with Switch branding, a couple of cooling vents at the bottom, and the now infamous kickstand. The Joy-Cons. These are both incredible and flawed in equal measure. I guess a better description is compromised. Due to the flexibility these needed to offer, things like the buttons and analog sticks are very small, as well as the form factor, and no D-pad is a crying shame. But they are very versatile and serve their purpose well. Motion controls, HD rumble, and the inclusion of an IR sensor is impressive in a controller so small. They did come with some plastic extensions, which add lanyards, but I don't have them to hand to show. Once they are attached, it looks a little more akin to a Nintendo handheld console. And the accessory that makes this console work as both a handheld and home console, the dock. I'm in the minority as I really like this thing. It's clean, simple, elegant. Just some embossed branding and a small power indicator light on the front. 4 small rubber feet on the bottom, and a couple of handily placed USB ports on the side. Beyond this door on the rear is the inputs, the USB-C power and HDMI, with an additional USB port. And I like this cutout on the back door and side to aid with the cable routing. It slides in easy enough, but doesn't possess any satisfying click. Included in the box is this grip accessory. It's not powered, it's just literally there to hold the Joy-Cons. It has some small windows on the front for the light from the Joy-Cons to pass into, which is a pretty clever design. The Joy-Cons slide and click into place just as they do on the Switch itself. I'll be honest, I don't use it much. If I play with the Joy-Cons, I just hold them one in each hand. When playing in docked mode, which is how I play 90% of the time, I use a Switch Pro controller. It's in a traditional layout, so also includes a D-pad, although not a very good one. The buttons are large and the analog stick feels great. It's comfy in the hand, with these textured grips. The controller is a smoked clear plastic, which is a cool touch. USB charging and a long battery life make it a no-brainer. I'm a late adopter of any new console. I like to wait for the dust to settle and more games to be released. When I purchased my Switch, I bought 2 games, one being Mario Odyssey. Many different kingdoms to visit, and all in an open world format. Switch games come in these small plastic cases inside the cartridge. Very small, not much larger than an SD card. This is clearly done with portability in mind. Alongside Mario Odyssey, I also purchased Zelda Breath of the Wild. Need I say any more about this masterpiece? I remember when I finally got up the courage to leave the Great Plateau, and I stayed around the base of it for ages, overwhelmed about where to go next. If I could wipe my memory and play this game for the first time again, I would. Of course, there is more than one great Zelda game on the system. Sometime after the sequel was released, game mechanics were greatly improved, and there was much emphasis on combining items to make all sorts of amazing tools and contraptions. I was really excited when the remake of Link's Awakening was announced. Mainly down to nostalgia, Link's Awakening is my all-time favourite Zelda game, and this remake is the ultimate version. And this is a spiritual successor to Link's Awakening. As a switch on the formula, Link gets captured, and it's up to Princess Zelda to save the day. Zelda can't fight like Link, so uses a special staff to copy and summon objects and enemies that she finds around Hyrule, to use in many creative ways. Never before have we been so spoilt with so many amazing Zelda games on one system. We even got a new Hyrule Warriors game, Age of Calamity, a great button masher. We also got a great new 2D Mario platformer. After what seemed like far too many new Super Mario Bros. Games, Nintendo finally gave the fans what they asked for, something new and unique. This certainly was, with the emphasis on new abilities over power-ups, giving you options to complete levels in different ways. We also got a Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Many felt this was rushed and lacking content, but I am very happy with it. With the inclusion of Mario Galaxy, Sunshine and 64, all with improved resolutions. And it's now my go-to way to play these 3 great and classic Mario games. Ubisoft was an early supporter of the Switch. This game was a lot of fun, a mashup of Nintendo characters with the Rabbids. Luigi's Mansion saw its 3rd entry. This time the setting was a haunted hotel, The attention to detail was great, and the new setting of the hotel really lent itself well to the whole haunted house theme. Splatoon saw its return. I need to clean the front up of this one. It's got some sticker residue on it. Close to 50 million copies of Animal Crossing New Horizons was sold. This game came out at the perfect time, as shortly after, in the UK, we went into lockdown, and millions of copies were sold. Wario was represented on the console. These games are always a lot of casual fun. Now I'll be honest, some of these games I've not played, as not every game I have in the house is mine, and this is one of them. Have you ever played Game Builder Garage? Is it worth me spending some time with it? Nintendo Switch Sports couldn't replicate the success of Wii Sports. I think having these generic looking characters lacks the charm of the old Mii characters. Although I very much like this large colourful box it came in. And for some of the sports, these leg straps are needed. I have two, as having to swap them over every time I play with someone was tedious. Another Ubisoft game is Starlink. I remember they kept the inclusion of Savfk a secret, and it was an amazing reveal. It included all the main characters, the R-Wing ships, some of the original reworked soundtrack, and cutscenes, all exclusive to the Switch version. Let's be honest, most of us purchased this just for Savfk alone. This was at the tail end of the whole Toys to Life craze. But I must admit it's pretty cool getting some Savfk toys. You would select the character of your choosing, ship, it's obvious which one I would use. Select your choice of weapons, and however you configure it, it would end up on the game. Part of the set came with this controller grip to attach everything to. By the time you add the Joy-Cons, it's quite a thing, isn't it? I remember getting the complete set for just £10 at my local Toys R Us clearance, as the game didn't perform well and soon became discounted. As with all these toy-to-life things, you end up with a load of them in storage and never use them again. I think if I had access to all of this when I was a kid in the early 90s, me and my friends would have absolutely loved it. I love this Star Wars combo game. Star Wars Racer and Republic Commando, two classics in one. As with all the other last-gen consoles, LEGO games are aplenty. This is one of the better ones. An open sandbox game full of details. I remember having to wait for what seemed like years for the Star Wars saga to be released. This is a must-play for any Star Wars LEGO fan. And it's got all the typical LEGO humour as to be expected. And this is another game I've never played. I think it would be lost on me as I'm not a Marvel superheroes fan, having never really read the comics or seen any of the movies. And the same with LEGO Ninjago. I've just never seen the movie, so I don't know anything about it. Now this is very much my kind of game. I'm an early adopter of the franchise, playing the original two games on my PC back in the 90s, and this was very much a return to those original two games, back to the hand-drawn 2D environments. I think this is due a second playthrough. One of the upsides to all these ports on the Switch is you can play them on the big screen and portable. Being able to take classics like LA Noire on the go is a massive part of the Switch's success. Games like Farming Sim and Minecraft again are technically better on other consoles, but the portable aspect makes them a good option over other console versions. The first thing I did when I purchased my console was fit a decent screen protector. This was fitted years ago. Luckily I'm pretty good at fitting these things, so it got no dust or air trapped behind it. There's just a few scratches that can be seen under certain light. This is probably caused from using the dock. It does have a tendency to scratch the screen. I've always liked the simple interface on the Switch, but I do wish there was more options for themes and customization. Let's hope they improve this on the Switch too. And I love the action of removing and adding the Joy-Cons. I like the flash of colour on the screen to match the controller, and the click noise when you add them. Adding a game isn't all that satisfying, sadly. You have to move this rubber dust cover on the cartridge slot, and it just fits in spring-loaded. It feels a bit like changing a memory card in a camera. I guess this is the compromise for making the system as much a handheld as a home console. The screens on these Gen 1 consoles aren't bad. The colours are pretty good. However, it is limited to 720p. The later OLED models had a much brighter and larger screen, but as I mainly game on the TV, I didn't bother upgrading at the time. Another way to play is in tabletop mode. Let's see if I can get this world's worst kickstand out without it flying across the room. Again, this was another improvement they made with the later OLED models. Stick drift is a big issue with Joy-Cons, although as it's typical, at the time of filming this they perform perfectly. You can of course use the Pro controller in tabletop mode, and as you can see, pairing is very quick and easy. All you need to get it hooked up to the TV is a power lead and HDMI cable. I would recommend you only use an official Nintendo power supply, as I've heard stories of switches being damaged using third-party USB-C charging. The upright nature of the dock requires a bit more shelf clearance, but as you can see, putting it in the dock to play on the TV is seamless. Eight years is a long time. A lot has happened. When I look back on the last 8 years, I'm filled with a sense of happiness and sadness from the time past. I'm sure many of you will feel the same. Some of you will have grown from children into adults, gone through school, got your first job. Some of you will have got married, maybe had children, and seen them grow. So the inevitable future has now become the present. It's time to say goodbye. An ending can be both a sad and beautiful thing. Every end leads to a new beginning, for no console dies in vain. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you back here soon.